What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Coyote ZR2. Today I have a video that's sponsored by Auxbeam, which is pretty cool. I reached out to them, asked them if they want to help out with the build and the channel, and they said yeah. So they decided to send me out their RGB 8-gang switch panel. This is the one that has the Bluetooth that can connect to your phone. So it also has the functions of always off and on, monetary, and you got like a strobe effect on it. You could also hold down a button and have it stay on, and then when you release the button, it will turn off. Pretty cool though. They also sent me out a light bar, a 42-inch light bar. I'll show that in a different video. But today we're focusing just on the Auxbeam install. If you did watch my other video for the Victory 4x4 dash accessory mount, I already ran the wire from the engine bay that plugs into the Auxbeam into the cab of the truck. So watch that if you want to see how I do that. Basically today I'm just going to be focusing on mounting this inside the engine bay, cleaning the wires on that, what that entails. And then as well as that, I also bought this for a cleaner install for the relay, I guess, or the accessories that you actually plug into your accessory to inside the engine bay. This is from a guy that has a YouTube channel too. His YouTube channel is Badland Industries, but he sells this bracket where you can set the switch panel or like the accessories that you plug all your accessories box basically on like into this, and it just makes it look super clean inside the truck. So I'll be showing how to install this as well, and I'll leave a link below where you can find this. Big shout out to him. He makes pretty cool, unique items for Colorados and Canyons alike. So I'll probably do, let's do an unboxing of the Auxbeam switch panels so you can see everything you get inside of it, and then we'll jump in front of the truck into the engine bay and we can see what that's all about. So obviously, I already opened this, but you get your stickers here for the switch panel itself. You got lots to choose from, which is pretty cool. You get a little instruction guide, how to install everything, a little swag sticker. And then if we get to the unboxing, this is everything you get inside the box. Brackets for whatever you need. A little fuse relay here. So if anything happens, we'll pop this and won't burn anything up in your truck. Obviously, you get the switch panel itself. You get the switch assembly, where this is what you run all your wires to. If I can open it, yeah. So this is what you run all your wires to, so you don't have to pull anything else into the cab, which is pretty nice, which I never did this when I had my Tacoma, and it was just a mess of wires going from around the engine into the cab, and it was just a pain in the butt. So I definitely want to do it right this time with the new ZR2. Now obviously you get, power negative cable. This is for an additive fuse, which I'll show you guys what fuse to tap into. And then obviously this is the cable you would run from the engine bay into the cab. But I've already done that, and I will show you guys the route of that. If you want to see exactly how I did it, I'll leave a link here somewhere on the screen to my other video where you can see how I got this into the cab. But that's basically it. You also get some other brackets. You can do a lot with it. You can fab up your own stuff to mount this in this place. I've seen, and when I jump in the truck, I'll show you some other solutions that you can do if you don't want to spend any more money, you just want the Auxbeam kit. But there will be a link below in the description for all of this stuff. But yeah, let's go jump into the truck and we'll get this thing going. Alrighty, so the first thing we're gonna do is pop these out, because this will basically sit right here, and then this bottom bolt goes in this nut pre-supplied bolt right here. So we'll get started on that. So the first thing you're gonna do is pop these tabs out without stabbing yourself. I believe that just pops out like that. And you drop it down on accident into your engine bay. Cheap plastic. But anyway, this sits here. You just want to pull this top piece. So this sits right here. You pull this up, and it releases tension, and you can see, you know, like I just broke this, get it out, so whatever. I'm not going to reuse it anyway. Then this bracket from Badland Industries sits just like this. So this lines up with the top two holes. You just pull tabs out, and then this one, there's two threaded bolts here that are for a relay that you can buy for the truck for the auxiliary switch to work, but it's like $600 or something like that. Don't recommend doing that. Just get an Auxbeam switch. Forget about the aux switch in there. It's only good for one thing. I don't see the point in that. And then Badland Industries supplies you with hardware you need. So it gives you a nut for the bottom one, 2 screws, and 2 nuts for the top one. So we'll get that going right now. Get this one going. Alrighty, so all 3 of the supplied bolts are just a 10 mil. Top ones are just little Allen key, standard Allen key. Most, if you work on your own stuff, you know what kind of Allen key it is. So next step is going to be mounting the switch assembly right here, and I'll show that. Alright, so this is for this, and mount right there. And you just use the supplied hardware that comes with the Auxbeam. And yeah, so that way any of your wires you run for lights can just be routed on the side back here straight into this. And once again, big shout out to Badland Industries for making such a nice clean bracket for this thing. This will definitely make this look factory, so I'm excited. So I'm just going to take supplied hardware, put a bolt through, put a nut in the back, screw it all down. I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So the nuts behind this are just a 10 mil. And so I'm just going to try to get this behind it, and in the front it's just a screwdriver, thankfully. So just need a Phillips screwdriver. That nice and tight. And voila, super clean looking. Next step is going to be finding a good spot to put, I believe it's a relay. So yeah, let me look around. I'll get back when I find a good spot for that. Okay, so this is the circuit control box. This is a circuit breaker. I think I'm just going to zip tie this right here, to be honest with you, because then I just have to run positive cable from this to this, from here to here basically, and then run another line from in here to the fuse box. So I think this will be super clean because I can tuck everything low and in the channel here. So let me zip tie this up and I'll show you guys how I did that. Okay, so I think I found a good solution to mount this circuit breaker. So I have one of these right around my garage. It's basically got a thread hair. So basically what I did was push it on the battery bracket here. So that's got a thread hair. I had some extra spacer and a nut that threaded in the hair. So I pushed this on the bracket, put this over this, and just screwed it in basically. And as you can see, that's not going to go nowhere. It looks going to look clean. I can still put the cover on, and yeah, if I can remember what these are called, I'll link it below, because I think this is a really good solution for this. Because I can even run my negative wire, my positive wire underneath this now, and just boom, right there, from here to there, or yeah, or from here to here. Be short from here, go down around to here. It's gonna be nice. It's just, but yeah, I'll try to figure out what these are called and leave a link below in the description for this little piece here, because I think this is a good solution for this. Next part, I'm gonna grab some wiring and show you guys some of that. Okay, so now I have to get my add a fuse, and this fuse basically powers up the switch beam inside the truck. They give you two options. They give you a micro and a full-size fuse, which is pretty nice. but from what I read online, you're going to use fuse number 83, which is a 10 amp, which is located right here, I believe. And that is going to be your LED cargo lamp. And that way, if the truck is off, I can still run my lights. And then power goes to the switch when I push buttons on it, and it goes off when I don't press any of the buttons off. The switch is not pressed on. So I like that. I want that. I like having access to my lights when I want to. So let's go ahead and pop this fuse out. Alrighty, so quick update. I had it in fuse number 83, but that doesn't work because it just gives constant power to that. I was hoping the backlight on that would just shut off and it would be done, but it doesn't. It just stays on. So from doing some research, I ended up switching it to fuse F73, which is right here next to this 20 amp fuse. You can't miss it. But that allows it to turn on when the truck's on and turn off when the truck's off. I may do some more research and find something that I can use at all times. But realistically, worst case, it is what it is. And most of the time I'll be using most of the lights when the truck's on anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Plug this into the switch assembly and then splice these two together. And then, yeah, so I'll show you guys that right now. So this is the piece that will attach to your antifuse, and this just plugs in. Let's get this out of here before we lose that. This plugs in right here. One goes in one way. And I'm just gonna route this wire through here. Just kind of leave it there for the time being. And then we want to kind of route this now so we don't got to do it later. So I'm just going to go in this channel here, go underneath the battery. Around here, it ended up over here where my antifuse is. And then they pre-trimmed this for you already, which is pretty nice. And you're just going to slide this into your antifuse. And then grab your crimp tool and just crimp it down. I always like to give it a little tug, make sure it's not going to fall out of there. I'm going to go grab some electrical tape, tape this up a little bit, and grab a knife so that I can cut a slit right here so I can still close my fuse panel basically. So I'm probably going to make a notch right here. That way, somewhere over here. That way there's no interfering with the notch here. But I'm gonna grab a knife, some electrical tape, and I'll show you exactly what I do here. All right, just tape that up. I'm not gonna bore you guys watching me tape stuff. So, next step is going to be just take a razor blade and cut out a small notch here. Let's test that now. You're getting there. Let me get this on there. You guys kind of get it now. Just gotta kind of work your way at it. I got the lid back on. That should be good. I'll know when I go to test it if this is getting pinched or not. So we'll go from there. So I got this ran. Antifuse ran, so next I'm gonna do the negative wire and get that to the negative terminal from here to there, and then we'll do positive from here to here to the battery, and then from here to the switch panel. So let me readjust you guys, get some stuff together. I'll show you that real fast. So Auxbeam supplies you with 2 different lengths for the positives, so depending where you route stuff, you have some room to do stuff. So I'm gonna put the short end going to the battery here and the longer end over here so I can route it down and around and make it look kind of nice. So let's get that going. So I already took this net off. It's gonna go pink. Get that lightly seated for now. Okay, so the cover for this, these wires have to go straight out, so I'm basically just gonna do this. Grab my ratchet. Get that on there, and then do the same for the other side. Now that that's good, I can put these little caps back on. Recheck this bolt because it does seem like it wants to wiggle around just a little bit. Make sure that's tight, and then I'll show you guys what I'm doing for the negative. Okay, so just tighten that back up. So this is nice. I mean, I'm not worried about this going anywhere. Take my cover piece. Probably gotta flip that off just while I'm playing with power. Put the cover piece on later. So let's figure out how we want to route this guy to the switch panel. I think I'm just gonna honestly follow this same route. And that was just go tie into that right there. So, and I'll clean all this wiring up a little bit best I can. Yeah, I'll cut back to you when I make this look pretty. I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, so I took it from here, right underneath this relay box, and just gonna come right here with it. That way it's kind of tucked away and it's not in the way of anything. Shouldn't have to do too much messing around with it. Then, so that's done. I'll connect to the power once everything's buttoned up. I'm ready to test it. But let's do the negative now. So negative wire, it's pretty long. So same concept. Just gonna push it up through here. And then boom. So that's positive, negative here, and then I'm probably, since the negative is so close, I don't know why they make this so freaking long, but this will just kind of end up coming through behind this. Let's have a little coil probably and put it to the negative terminal right there. So I'll do all that. You guys don't need to see that. You're just gonna connect this to the positive, connect this to the negative, and then I'll show you what goes here, and I'll show you some video, or I'll show you where I ran that through the cab and into the truck, because I did it a little different than most people probably will, especially inside the cab. So I'll show you that. Let's get this buttoned up, and I'll show you that part. All right, so the negative's hooked up to the negative. Now we're gonna do the positive. So the positive has an extra terminal here. You outsource a nut. I'll post what size nut this is, and then it makes it easy. You don't got to put it on here. You have it on this little accessory port basically. So we'll take this off now. That's like a 12 millimeter. Let me grab a different socket. Pull some slack. Okay, so on this negative and positive, there's a big hole and a smaller hole. Put the smaller hole on the breaker. That's about it. So now that actually fits over that extra stud here, so we can bolt all this down now. Get that nice and snug. Alright. So now we can push that back over. push this back over. I kind of like that. It's just kind of whoop, sits there. This kind of tucks low. Everything's out of the way. So now, hope we don't blow up. So that's getting power now. At least it should be getting power now if all this is right. Let's put this clear case over it. Just protect it from any water or anything possibly. That just sits like that, nice and tidy. And then this right here is what you run to your cab, which I already did that. So you would just end up taking this, routing this through here. I'm just trying to get all the main wires on one side, and then plugging this into here. And then this is feeding the switch panel inside. This is giving power to the switch panel inside, and this is obviously powering all your accessories you end up putting in here. So I'm gonna do some cable maintenance, and then I'll show you guys the route to run stuff into the cab, and then I'll show you where I'm putting my switch panel inside the truck. So I'll kind of show you how I clean all this up a little bit, and then we'll cut all that. So okay, so I got everything up here buttoned up. Switch assembly sitting on this mount. Power cables routed nice and neat underneath there. I have this stuff routed here. I pulled the cord going into the cabin nice and tight, so there's not a whole lot of mess back there. This is just running, looping around. The add fuse is just running through here. And that's basically it. And this is just mounted on this little piece here. Like I said, I'll leave a link to what these are below in the description. Real fast. For anyone curious, that grommet right there is how you get to the cap on the engine bay. The inside, it basically looks like that. It's cut to the right of the triangle or the arrow, and you'll be good to go. Like I said, I'll post a link to my DIM. That's what that other wire is for all-time power. I'll post a link in the comments or the description below where you can see exactly how I did this. But yeah, so that's already done for me. So basically, I ran that wire to the switch panel up through my dash DIM accessory mount right there, because I'm gonna put the switch panel right there, and I'll show you guys all that when it's all buttoned up. So the next step is to button all this back up, and then test the switch panel, get that all put, and I'll show you guys all that. So I'll jump right back to it. As you can see, the truck's on, Auxbeam's on, it's working. I have this mounted to a ram mount, and this is Auxbeam itself is mounted to a bullet point switch panel holder basically, and it's super clean looking, as you can see. And then what I did for the wire is I have the DIM DAS accessory mount, so I basically just passed it through the same route I took. If you watch my DIM video, the same route I took to run the all-time power to my USB cable here, I basically took that same route, pulled that cable from the engine bay, and then that plugs in the switch panel. So everything's super hidden, and there's no visible wires, and it looks really good. Yeah, so as you can see, it works. This is what it looks like in the engine bay. This is secured on top of the battery, the breaker, switch assembly, breakers are right there, mounted to the Badland Industries bracket, which I highly recommend if you do this, get it, because just look how clean that looks. Like, and everything from here will basically just, like when I ditch lights, light bars, bumper stuff will all just run through this side of the panel into that, and everything will be tucked away. All right, so that's basically it, guys. Auxbeam's installed, switch panel works, super happy with it. Highly recommend you get the Badland Industries bracket for the breaker switch assembly over there, because that just makes it look OEM. The breaker is mounted on there. This is what I did. You guys can use your imagination whatever you want to do. This wasn't really a step-by-step. It's more just showing you how I mounted it, because there's a million different ways you guys can do it. Use your imagination. Big shout out to Auxbeam for sponsoring this. They did send me out this for free for this for the purpose of this video, if I had actually bought one, a lesser version that doesn't have the Bluetooth and all that. And if you follow me on Instagram, I will probably be doing a giveaway for that. So follow me on Instagram so you can stay tuned for that. If you need a switch panel for your car, or Colorado or Canyon, whatever, I will be doing a giveaway for one. Other than that, I have no lights yet to put in the truck. I recently found out, I hit up CBI, sent them an email. They are sponsoring the build and the channel, so they are sending me a roof rack. Also, I have a suspension lift kit from Peak that they're sending me. Peak suspension they're sending me, and yeah, so that will be, the lights will go on when that happens. But today it's just representing Auxbeam. Thanks for the switch panel, appreciate it. I'll leave links below to everything I used in the build and where you can find this, Amazon and their own website stuff. Auxbeam also sells light bars, you know, ditch lights, stuff like that, LED lights, stuff like that. So go check out them. You know, everyone just say switch panel. Most people think either S-Pod. I always think Auxbeam when I think about it. So yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and catch you guys on the flip side.